Oh, it is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Good to see you all. We are here live on YouTube, live on Facebook as well. Trying something new out here on the Restream app. If you're just joining, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again as always. Me and P.Kidd going to get in here. We're going to break down honestly, breaking down, should the Chicago Bears be looking to go after Carson Wentz? I mean, this is a tough one. As we getting Kidd in here, soon as Kidd's situated, gives the thumbs up, we're going to get this thing cracking off. The biggest thing when we're talking about the Chicago Bears, ladies and gentlemen, entering into the chat, Petty Casanova, also known as my boy P.Kidd. Kid, what's good?
What's good?
Oh, you sounding great over there, my boy. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, feeling good. How about you?
Oh, you know, the Bears are trying to trade for Carson Wentz, and we weren't in the Super Bowl yesterday, so I'm here. Yeah. Speaking of the Super Bowl, how'd you enjoy the Super Bowl yesterday, my boy?
You know what?
That's the perfect face for it.
Yeah. The team that I expected to win won. I'm not gonna lie about that, but yeah, the turnout of it kind of really just showed. For me, it kind of just exposed how weak of a schedule KC had leading up to the Super Bowl.
Really, that's what you took from that?
Because they had never really been tested throughout the season. Not really. When you really look at their schedule, they like moonwalk to the Super Bowl.
I mean, I guess I could. I don't know. To me, it showed me two things, honestly. To me, number one thing it showed me was that the argument that Pat Mahomes with a no offensive line would be terrible, and that's why the Bears should have never taken him, is dead. Because that man was running for his life all night, and he was slinging that thing and literally throwing dots as he was falling to the ground.
It had to be one of the best plays. If that receiver had caught that pass,
it was Tyreek Hill.
That man has to go. Was it a Tyreek Hill pass?
It was Tyreek Hill. It hit him in the face mask. I think that's the craziest part about it to me.
He's falling. He's parallel to the ground. He hits the man in the helmet. Y'all got to be kidding me. That dude's the GOAT. I'm sorry.
Mind blown, my guy. Mind purely blown. But that's not why we're here. Unfortunately, because we didn't draft that guy. That's not why we're here today. We are here to talk about Carson Wentz. I mean, listen. The package is on the table. Apparently, the Bears have the best package. Let's just start off with the question. Should the Chicago Bears trade for Carson Wentz? Kidd, I will get your thoughts, guys, in the chat as well. I see YBS in the chat already. I see Sparios in the chat. Jonathan Vega in the chat. What's going on? What's going on?
On dummy with me already. Listen.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, for real.
Don't get cooked in comments. Trust me, I clap back. Anyway.
Let's start it off with that, though. Kidd, do you believe that with the package that we believe to have, as far as we know right now, it does involve the Bears' first-round pick from this year. It does involve a player, or possibly two players. One of the players we know to be at least Nick Foles. The other player is up in the air. It was speculated Tariq Cohen, but Tariq instantly went to his people and was like, y'all trading me? Do not trade me. Y'all trading me? Yeah, I respect that. I respect
that. The phone was like, yo, what's good?
You know what I'm saying? We got Matt Nagy in the chat saying, yes, we're getting Wentz already. Kidd, what do you think? Should the Bears trade for Carson Wentz?
Honestly, I don't think we're in a position to get anyone else realistically. I think, except for maybe a Matt Ryan or something like that, which is what I've always said. We're not in a position to get a Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Without betting the farm, destroying our team, and giving up enough draft capital that we won't be able to build around him until almost 2024. So while I would have loved for it to be a different QB, I think Carson Wentz gives us the best of both of the current QBs that we have. He gives us the wheels of biscuits because, let's be honest, that's what we really liked about him. And he also, I mean, let's forget Carson Wentz may have had a down year, but realistically, my man almost threw for 50 TDs. My man, even coming off the bench, was 27-7, which was actually a record coming off that's an NFL record. He's a good quarterback. he's in a bad situation. So this is a good opportunity for us to get a more than competent quarterback who has some type of support. Because I forget, John. He worked with John. That's the year they kind of
Filippo. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good opportunity for us to get a quarterback without demolishing our team and our future. And so I like it for that reason. Is he my first pick? Absolutely not. So let's not get it twisted. He's not my first pick. All of the picks I've thrown out there weren't my first pick. They were just something that was realistic.
Anybody outside of Deshaun Watson wasn't the first pick.
even when I sat there and said, hey, we should go after Jameis Winston, it was only because I wanted someone who I knew could throw, had a year behind the legendary quarterback, and we could get on the cheap. Let's be real. Let's be real. That's the only reason I said that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, of course, it was the Deshaun's. Of course, it was the Dak Prescott's and stuff like that. But were we really in a position to get them? Absolutely not. Not without giving up pieces that have made us successful to even have to be considered an 8-8 team. Right? Yeah. We'd have to give up a lot for those type of players, those big names, especially after what happened with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford got a king's ransom for that guy.
Yeah, but see, to me, this
you know what I'm saying? So
Matt Stafford coming off of a season where he was Matt Stafford. You know what I'm saying? By the way, if you guys are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports weekly. Don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit the bell as well. He's coming off a season where he was Matt Stafford, where he was in a terrible position. He didn't allow it to affect him. He didn't allow it to really diminish his game. It was literally like, yo, I'm going to keep playing my game. Y'all suck. I'm going to keep playing my game. I just want you to know, y'all suck. But I'm going to still have a 4,000-yard season. But I want you to know, y'all suck. And that's really kind of how it came down to it. You know what I'm saying? To me, Carson Wentz, listen, this is the thing I don't like. This is the number one thing that really irks me about where the Bears are, how the Bears have done things, which really shows you how they botched this thing, whether you're on the Pace side or the Nagy side, who you think should stay. And in my opinion, both should be gone. We shouldn't even still be talking about them in this situation right now. But because you've put them in this situation of desperation, they're going to make whatever move they can make, right? They're going to have to make a move to save their jobs. And what do? Now you're overspending. Now you're going too far into it, trying to make something happen. Now you're going too deep. Oh, we have to have the biggest package to make this happen so that we can acquire a quarterback who had a down year. Why is Philadelphia dictating terms here? Carson Wentz was, let's be honest. Let's not even, I don't like calling him, he had a down year. But it was, by his comparison, by his own stats, garbage. And he'll tell you, this was a bad year. Why are we allowing Philadelphia to dictate terms? How in the world are we giving up a first-round pick for this guy? How in the world are you going out and giving up a first-round pick? I get Matt Stafford, the package he came with. I get that. Matt Stafford had a 4,000-yard season. Matt Stafford looked great at times, and you at the end of the day, you had to look at it and just be like, wow, if he had anybody that could catch the ball, he might have won a game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
absolutely.
get Stafford. I don't get Wentz.
I think it's just even understanding the state of flux that their organization was in. Like, I agree with you. I don't see how they're in the controlling position of negotiations. But the one thing I will say is Carson Wentz, but the player himself is not a bum by any means. And so, considering what we were willing to give up,
how do we know? I like what we saw before, but also what we saw last year, we have to take into account.
That's true. But I mean, let's even look at the numbers. The QB that they even put in honestly didn't do any better. He looked better. The team rallied behind him, but his INT to TD ratio was still garbage.
Speaking on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. He wasn't better.
Yeah, he wasn't a showstopper. But it's you know what it is? It's fold. Jesus, it's sad to say that we have to compare it to this, but it was Foles to Mitch.
It was Foles to Mitch.
Foles didn't look better. Foles looked worse. And Mitch, when he got back in, all of a sudden it was like, oh snap, we got a guy. We got to do. And it's like, I mean, you got Mitch.
and to be fair, let's really think about it. Considering how much more we would have to give up,
Yeah.
We can now go get the pieces to put in front of this particular quarterback.
Yeah.
Because we didn't give up our entire the chats that were out there. I mean, not the chats, the projected trades for us to go get some bigger names included us to basically give up our entire next draft.
Yeah.
Some pieces from the draft, that next year's draft, and a player. What O-line are we getting? What pieces can we potentially get? We would have.
I think you have to still ask that question with this trade, though. You're not going to go fix your offensive tackle position in the second round, because if it's an offensive tackle that's worth his salt, he ain't gonna fall to the second round.
The one thing I will say is, and me and you have agreed on this, Ryan Pace has found gems in later rounds.
Absolutely.
Totally botched his first round picks. Right? Listen, me, you, the whole chat. Listen, totally botched his first round picks. Don't say I'm not sitting there giving him the pass. But he's found gold in later picks. So I actually have more confidence for him to get something done in that regard. I actually have a lot of confidence in that regard, realistically. And just considering the whole history and everything there, it's the potential for us to still be good. Remember, we all said this. We just needed a competent quarterback at center who could potentially make a move with his legs, stuff like that, and stretch some plays. That's what we're getting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're getting. And so let's not hate on the fact that that's what they're going to get. We could talk about the past. Listen, it's done. It's done. It's done already. We're getting exactly what we potentially want. And so let's try to ride that wave until it doesn't work. Because realistically, up until that last season, no one would have said Carson Wentz was a complete bust.
Yeah.
He's not a bust.
I think Carson right now, we're seeing what happens when you go through the mental rigors of being injured in the NFL.
Facts.
Too often. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you start wondering, almost the Derrick Rose effect. Derrick got hurt twice, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, is my knee going to hold up? Can I play this way? What am I going to be able to do to get back to where I was? He was putting too much on himself. And I think Carson kind of did that. You got to think, I mean, listen, Carson is in a situation where he was the best quarterback in a situation, but he's not the one that won you a Super Bowl. He's not the quarterback that Philadelphia loves. We got that guy here.
Ain't it?
We got that guy here. And by the way, they built a statue to him. They built a statue to Nick Foles and Doug Peterson. Neither of them are there anymore, by the way, but they built a statue to him. And you got to play behind the statue. You thought playing behind the statue of Jordan was tough? You got to play behind the statue of your backup? Come on. And I do want to address this question here from Ringo. Can Nagy get Carson back to MVP form? I think that's the other caveat that comes into this.
I think John can.
What's the system? I think the scary part is, which is why it's just such a botch job from the Bears. You know, we've got a team. I think we have all the pieces in place. Have we figured out the quarterback position? No. Have we won enough games? No. But we're in a good direction. What the? That's your president. That's what you're putting out on the field, game in and game out. You know what I'm saying? It all starts from the top. So can Matt? Is he going to run the system that saw Carson be successful? They essentially run the same system that Doug Peterson was running in Philly.
Yep.
It could work, but again, I don't know. We don't trust Matt to fix the situation that he had here. And I get the offensive line was fluctuating, but what do we trust about Matt and the coaching staff here right now to get Carson Wentz back to MVP form? And he was, let's be real, to P.Kidd's point, he was an MVP. If he didn't get hurt that season, he was the MVP.
Absolutely. He was a stud. Even coming off 27 TDs and 7 INTs coming off the bench is a NFL record. You have to really dig into these numbers. Don't sit there and just be that casual fan that says, oh, and you follow mainstream media, because that changes day by day. You know, that changes every day. You know, at one point in time, Brady's not the GOAT and he's doing all this. Next thing you know, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Listen,
Tom Brady stopped being the GOAT every season he wins a Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying? You really got to dig into if we're going to play armchair GM, really try to be armchair GM, like really dig into why these particular moves are made and what it sets yourself up for. You can't have everything. You cannot have it all. Because the one thing I've told everyone since the start, if we go after a bigger name, who are we putting after him? Because we got to see what Pat Mahomes with the bad O-line for a particular day look like. I mean, he's throwing dimes, but guess what? He look a lot like Matt Stafford. He look a lot like Matt Stafford if you don't have people in a situation who are under pressure, and I know that team is good, so don't get me wrong, but realistically, that's the kind of situation we set ourselves up with game after game by going to get other people and stuff like that. So it's not about putting this particular quarterback on the same plateau or echelon of Dax, Matt's, definitely not Deshaun's and stuff like that. It's really trying to, how does this system work for him? How does he take us to the next step? Like there are levels to this game. Right. We are like middle of the road. We ain't elite yet. We're middle of the road. We're just trying to inch up.
Barely.
So at this point,
barely.
Hey, we're just trying to inch up. That's all we want. We just want somebody who knows, can he make this throw if I need him to make this throw? Because we don't know if we have that guy yet. When it comes to Carson Wentz, we're not asking, can he make this throw? We're just asking, can he stay healthy? We're not asking, can he make a play with his legs? We're asking, can he stay healthy?
Yeah, facts.
That's a different conversation. When Nick is behind center, we're asking all of those things. When Nick Foles is behind center, we know he's not making a play with his legs. We're like, God, is he going to get cracked in the ribs again? Like,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So you scared for his life, but I think the same thing comes with Carson. Like you said, he's you got to say it. 2 years in a row, you've had great seasons, and then now he had the healthy season last season, but you had great seasons, and then you came off injured. Can he stay healthy? And that's a dangerous question when you're giving up a first-round pick for a guy. I don't care if it's 32. Can he stay healthy is a dangerous question. Well, 32 might be different. But 20, I think you can still find something to plug a piece somewhere. That's a dangerous question.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. The one thing I didn't want to do, though, was destroy our defense.
Yeah.
And this whole trade talk thing, we were going to have to give up pieces on our defense.
And you still might have to give a piece.
Well, the player that they have to give up, I hope, is, well, I know it's not going to be like a Mac or anything like that. Heck no. If it ends up being that, listen, I'm going to totally flip a table.
The cap hit would be too great.
Yeah, I know.
For the Bears.
So I'm hoping that this player, obviously, I didn't want Cohen gone because I'm like, yo, we need our run game. That's the one thing we didn't really have. Because we didn't have an existing run game, we relied on our QB, who wasn't all that great, to throw.
Right.
So I want to at least have a mediocre run game with a above average pass game, so I can at least have some type of dual threat going on, but depending on the situation. So I was really hoping that they didn't get rid of Tariq Cohen, but I'm okay if it ends up being like a Kyle Fuller or something like that.
I mean, it's fine if it is. But the problem is now you're giving up draft capital with a player that you have to plug. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's why the fact that the Bears are even here blows my mind, because it's like we should be dictating terms. They're trying to get rid of this player. Now, the only thing I will say, to play devil's advocate, the only thing that gives me any solace in this, that gives me any, okay, maybe for once, the trades haven't really worked out big in the end. But maybe he's making the right call here is the fact that you're in a bidding war with the Colts. And let's be honest, Bears fans, we should have had Chris Ballard in the building. When you think about how bad the Bears have botched this up, we let Chris Ballard walk out the building, and then we let Bruce Arians walk out the other door. I just want us to remember that, just so I'm not the only one feeling that pain. But you're in a bidding war right now with Chris Ballard, who's been a guy who's built his team well through the draft, who's built his team well through finding pieces, finding free agents. He is GM of the year most years. He's going to have that LeBron effect on GM of the year, where they're just like, we got to give it to somebody else. Like, we can't keep, you know what I'm saying? So to me, the fact that you're in a bidding war with Chris Ballard and the Indianapolis Colts tells me a little bit of something. But again, the Colts have pieces in place. The Colts have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL to protect Carson Wentz. The Colts
I saw the report that they dropped out, though.
I didn't see that. Did they drop out of the bidding? So it's just the
I
Bears
saw a
bidding
report that
against
said that
themselves right now? Is that what
I saw a
you're
report that said that they backed up on it, their trade talks with them.
Let me see. Let
That
me
also kind of heated up when Andrew Luck was supposedly supposed to come out of retirement because he has to go to the Colts if he does.
Yeah.
So, which would be wild. But I mean, honestly, if they have an O-line for him, if Alex Smith can come back, then I think he can too.
The funniest thing to me is that literally Colts fans and Bears fans are just trying to pass off Carson Wentz to the other team. Like we're at that point right now. Hey man, you know what? Hey, I hope your whole week is filled with sunshine and fairies, dog. You really need Carson Wentz, man. You know what? I hope your whole season is filled with blessings, my brother. Why don't y'all take Carson Wentz? Like that's really
crazy.
Where we are right now. And to me, I think that let's see. I'm trying to see
you
if
trying to pull it up. Let me see
matters.
where I saw that.
Well, I see a day ago. All that matters in potential Carson Wentz trade is if he can still play, and that's for the Colts. And so, although it does say if Frank Reich gets his way, the Colts won't be trading for Carson Wentz. So definitely some conflicting reports there. But again, this is the Bears. We've seen them bid against themselves for a guy. You know what I'm saying? We've seen them go into a room and be like, okay, we really want to give you this number. Well, you know, that number could work for me. You know what? We'll give you a $2 million more. Like what? What? And to me, that's kind of where we're at. Like it's mind blowing to me as we got over 100 messages in the chat. We got 90 people in the chat, man. 95 in the chat. 96.
Hey,
that thing over
105. Listen, over 100 in the chat.
Hey, they
appreciate y'all joining us on this Monday morning, fellas.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. And so the question again to the chat. Now I think here's the thing too. If we are willing, over 100 in the chat, let's get it bussing.
Let's get it bussing.
If we are here too, if we are at a point where it's gonna happen, where we're gonna trade for Carson Wentz, what are you okay giving up? Because I'm gonna be real with you. If the Colts have dropped out, my trade package dropped tremendously. I'll give you Nick Foles because I don't think Carson wants him here. I'll give you a 3rd round pick. And I'll give you that's it. That's all you're getting. If nobody else is bidding, deal with Carson Wentz. You know how much money he comes with?
Absolutely. You know what? I think I would try to keep that first that 20 as much as possible. To be legit with you. I'd go for a second. I give him a second. I give him a second for 2 years, to be honest with you. Two second rounds for this year, next year, and Foles, just to see if they go. But I try to keep that first that 20th because I think I read a report, and forgive me if I'm wrong. People in the chat help me out.
Trying to get rid of Leno.
Yeah,
I think, 3rd and Leno, please.
I think that they had some good opportunity to get someone to help our O-line within the first round. I think it's a good class for that. I've been trying to pay more attention to it to see just how much that 20th pick would actually do for us. Like who we'd actually get, like who could actually fall to the 20th that would impact our team. And I've been trying to figure that out because if it isn't a whole lot of good prospects, then I'm not against moving that 20th pick. I'm not.
If we're keeping that same energy. We talked about a guy who in Deshaun Watson, who the Bears missed on that. How could you not take a guy that beat Alabama? How could you not take a guy that won the national championship? I see a lot of people out on Mac Jones, but everybody is literally saying Mac Jones is the best looking quarterback in this draft right now. And he's probably not going to go high because he doesn't really have the name. So to me, if you're at 20, you might have to move up a little bit to get him because somebody else.
Say that again.
In the way might want to take him. But I mean, Am I back? Are we back? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Everybody in the chat, we back? We back? We back? Don't know what happened there. Internet tweaked out on me for a second there. All right, looks like we back in the game. Looks like we're back in the game. All right, P.Kidd, you back too?
Was that me or you?
I'm not sure.
All right, cool. All right.
I'm not sure, but we are back. All right, we appreciate y'all for sticking around with us. We don't know what happened there. I'm gonna be calling Comcast right now. No, I'm just playing, but I will be calling them after this, trying to figure out what's going on. But to me, you look at a guy like Mac Jones. That's where you're at right now with the 20th pick. A guy who, listen, like I was saying, if we're gonna keep that same energy, we have to look at what Mac Jones was capable of getting Alabama to the national championship. Now also being led by their defense, but also looking like one of the best quarterbacks in that draft. And so, does that speak to the quarterback class? I mean, it's literally Trevor Lawrence and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Like really, it's Trevor Lawrence and the rest of y'all guys. But if you're going to take a flyer at 20, take a flyer on the guy that's had the most success. If people aren't going to take the guy that's had the most success, okay. All right. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I see people roasting. We got P was roasting us in the chat saying Burger King Wi-Fi. Dang, Dave, I thought we was cool.
Oh yeah. You know, hey, listen. That's what I love about a Chicago show.
Dang, I love it.
Chicago show. If you in this mug, you gonna get roasted if you mess something up. I love
it. I love it. He said Boost Mobile Wi-Fi. God. I see you.
Definitely got 1,000 megs over here. That's why I'm tweaking.
Hey, listen, whatever it is, we got it fixed though. We gonna keep it moving. Hey, it happens. It happens to the best of them. They on ESPN. You have internet disruptions. You better stop playing with me.
Listen, y'all are on a national radio show with
anyway, man. But hey, listen, I tell you one thing though. Just the simple fact that we're in a situation where we're talking about making major moves for our organization.
Yeah,
I think it's a breath of fresh air for us because realistically, we haven't been in these type of heated discussions in a while. Right. To know that we're actually going out there to try to make something happen for this team. I mean, obviously, we know that the people's careers are on the line if they don't. Right. We get the fact that there's fire under their feet for that. But I just like the fact that we're trying to be progressive in some way, shape or form. Right. And so to hear that they out there kicking the tires, trying to get something together, we can sit there and say, you know, talk about why we're here and stuff like that. I mean, that stuff happened. We can't change it. Where do we go from here? And they're actually trying to make some moves. So I like that. The biggest question that you just brought up, though, is what does Nagy bring to that situation? That to me, I didn't even think about that.
Question mark, bro. Like we all want a player, but it's like who coaching them?
Does the whole offense change now that you feel like you have confidence behind in your quarterback, or are you still trying to do Nagy things? Like we got to see when things were working well, Nagy will go away from it, stuff like that. I'm concerned about that because me and you both agree that at a certain point, when we're rocking and rolling, it's the coach on the floor, it's the coach on the field that controls a lot of these things. That's not Pace. We can blame Pace for the players that are there, but once they're there and they're being who's managing those players? Who's actually, you know, developing these players and stuff like that? That's everyone else on the sideline.
Absolutely.
And so I really would love to see if we see a Matt Nagy of old just because of it, to be honest with you. Because when we first saw Matt Nagy, he had all these cute little plays and stuff like that. It was like, okay, we got some here. We're doing something different. We haven't seen a lot of that because it's a twofold thing. One, he didn't cater to his QB, and at the same time, he wanted to do what he wanted to do. He wanted his player to follow certain things. And sometimes his player couldn't do those things.
But here's the thing as well. And by the way, if you guys are in here, man, I see over 100 in the chat. Let's see if we can get those likes up, man. Hit that like button, smash that like button for us. We appreciate it.
Out if we got to keep them because for some odd reason we kept them, and I'm willing to see what happens with it. We good, Pat? You good?
I think the connection dropped out on us there. That's really pissing me off. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi right now. Yeah, connection dropped out, so we on a. It might be a whole new you dig here. But maybe it's back. Is it just back on?
It's back. Hey, listen.
Are we
For
back like
those
we
who
never
don't
left?
know,
I don't know why, bro. The one time, you know what I'm saying? The one time.
I know. It's all good though.
Dion said, "Who playing PS5 in the other room?" Exactly, bro. Exactly. I don't know what's going on, man. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Kid, know that's gonna eat at me all day.
Oh man, he's gonna be sitting there texting me about it. I gotta figure out what's going on. It's like, hey, listen, it's a snowstorm in like half the Midwest right now. So
forget the Midwest. I'm worried about what's going on here in the studio. Oh
it's
man.
skipping.
But let's see where we at.
Draft right up saying the remaining picks for D on this one. For the particulars want to hold the 24 first round. Hey, Grant, I actually like that.
He said, "Y'all on the red line at Jackson." hey, bars.
As an Eagles fan, content creator, I like to know what y'all think about this.
I mean, you got in a little late. You did end up missing all of the struggles though. But
I tell you what, let's get his take. What do you feel about?
How are you guys feeling in Philly about getting rid of Carson Wentz? Let us know in the chat as well. If there are Philly fans in here, how you guys feeling in Philly about getting rid of Carson Wentz? I think that's the other thing too. You think about Carson Wentz as as the kind of player he is. What kind of play he brought to the table in previous seasons, and you ask yourself, all right, why do they want to get rid of him?
Yep.
To me, that's another question that has to come in. Why are they so adamant about getting rid of him for now I can't think of the backup. Like I didn't say that they should go Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Why are they so adamant about moving on from him when in all honesty, we all thought that Doug Peterson was big on sticking with Jalen Hurts and moving on from Carson Wentz. So why is it all of a sudden now? Like I understand he doesn't feel like it's the greatest situation for him. He did, but I mean, let's be real. The players have no leverage in the NFL.
Not as much as they would like to.
The players have they really don't. How many players were or how many people were we have to get rid of Deshaun Watson in Houston because he doesn't want to be here. And Houston was like, oh, we do. Because if you call me about Houston, I'm hanging the phone up on you.
I have to admit, I don't like it, but that's the most boss move I've ever heard from an organization. They literally, they have, it's on record. We're not interested in trading Deshaun Watson.
And look, and Deshaun said, I'll sit a year. Sit.
We'll figure it out.
Sit.
And I'm wondering if he got any clauses that allow them to take away money if he sits.
Oh, yeah. He gets fined every game he misses. He gets fined. So not only are you not getting your game check, he gets fined for every preseason game he misses. If we miss preseason, he gets fined for missing training camp. He gets fined for missing in every game that he misses. And you're not getting your game check.
He not sitting.
Who's sitting?
He not sitting.
I'll sit. Who's sitting? Okay. You know, and that's really what it comes down to. Like the players don't have the leverage here, and so if Carson Wentz all of a sudden comes into ownership and he's like, you know what, I don't believe in what y'all have going on here. I don't want to be here. And ownership's like, all right, we'll trade you. What's going on there? That's the biggest question to me now.
I honestly think it's a mutual thing, just like it was mutual in Detroit. Like, let's be honest with you. They said they mutually agreed to move on from, which I think was the best thing for him. And I'm glad that it came down to that. And I think Philly was like, yeah, that's not really working here. We've tried it. We had some flashes in the pan, but it's not really working. They have to move. I think that my man for Philly just actually got back in. So I want to see if he was tuning into what
so the Philly Talk podcast. Shout out to the Philly Talk podcast.
Shout out to y'all, man. Thanks for tuning in, man.
I think the talent is there. We had a horrible supporting cast. I'll agree with that. Let me tell you, when Alshon's your number one, and then he gets hurt, I just think there's been too many reports and too many uncertainties. I'm iffy on what to do. Players don't run it like the NBA. Yeah, facts. They don't.
I have a question. So realistically, let me ask you this. Is it one of those situations where like you agreed that they had a bad supporting cast? I'm not going to sit there and act like I've been watching
Philly
Carson
football.
Wentz and the Eagles to really find out what the heck was going on. I
Yeah.
wasn't, to be honest with you. So y'all in the chat, y'all really let me know. Like, did he really have a horrible supporting cast? Like, if that's really the case,
The
then
biggest thing is the offensive line was not where it should have been. It was a lot of the same problems we had here in Chicago. There's a lot of the same problems we had here in Chicago, but it was a mix of that. It was honestly, if you looked at Carson Wentz last year and you squinted your eyes real hard, you could have saw Mitch Trubisky. Because how
if
many
I got to
passes,
squint real hard and he's in the same situation, that means he's much better.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. How many times last season, and this was to me from my perspective, what I saw from Carson, how many times last season was there moments where it was like, okay, the line is doing its job.
My man said we don't need Robinson. Who the heck are you?
We don't know. We don't acknowledge that goofiness out here. There's no Robinson slander on this. No. But the question to me becomes, if when the line is doing its job, or what I saw from Carson Wentz last year, when the line is doing its job, how many times do we see Mitch just not make a decision or make the wrong decision? That's what we saw from Carson Wentz last year. Like, he was terrible, but at the same time, the line was terrible. But also, when the line played well and there were plays to be made, he was not making them. And listen, it comes from a correspondence of, I'm getting my head kicked in on this side. I'm getting my head kicked in on this side. Finally, there's an opportunity for me to make a play, but I'm expecting to get my head kicked in. So it's one of those, like, it's like, okay, I understand that he could be better. But is this situation going to make him better? If he goes to the Colts, he might legitimately turn his career around. They have an offensive line to stand in there and protect him and get the job done. The asking price just might be too high for what they're trying to do. But Ryan Pace is in a position where he might lose his job. There's no price too high. There's no asking price that's too high. He's going to do whatever he has to take to keep his job, because while Matt Nagy could get fired today and have another coaching job tomorrow. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's something he does well that will keep him going in football. Whether it's the leadership, whether it's the rah-rah, like you like to call it, whether it's there's something he does well that is going to keep him managing in football. Ryan Pace does not have that luxury. Ryan Pace, if this don't work out, he will never get another GM job.
I don't know if he'll never get another GM job. Because
you got to think about what's attached to his name, bro.
Again, the only thing that's attached to his name is the fact that he passed up on 2 to 3 generational quarterbacks in the same draft.
That's the biggest thing.
That's a big thing, though, right?
You're getting a job at. You're getting a job in a situation where the team is failing.
I get it. Listen, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you because you know how I feel about it. Listen, he botched that 2017 one, but he did find gold in his other draft picks. For those who want to sit there in the chat, because I know I'm gonna have a couple of them. Go do your research. He found all pros. We had several all pros that he picked late round. We have some people who that moved around that did well once they left our organization that he picked. Listen, you can't stop that. You can't change the narrative just because it fits whatever half-cock scheme that you want to come up with. The narrative of the real narrative is, yeah, he botched that one horribly, horrendously. It's going to follow him until he retires. Yeah. But at the same time, he did go get some all-pros. Hey, listen, say what you want to say. Do your research first, because I'm going to come with you with some facts. At this point, I just don't want to see any more Watson talk.
Yeah, the Watson talk.
We're not there.
The Watson talk is dead.
We're not there. We're not getting that man.
The only
step up to get the you know how much we'd have to give up for Watson?
Oh,
we'd have to do more than what they did for Matt Stafford.
Oh, absolutely.
Who are we to? I want to see it in the chat. Who will we give up for him?
I think the question is also,
Mac is gone right away. That number 1 pick right away.
No, they wouldn't want Mac. They wouldn't want Mac because Mac is too much of a cap hit for a team that in that situation now you're rebuilding, and he's also too much of a cap hit for the Bears, so it wouldn't even get
which
done.
Is worse for us, which means they're gonna take off all our other pieces, right? Who you gonna get now?
Absolutely. I think the question to me is, here's where you make the move. If you think you're a quarterback away, do you think the Bears are a quarterback away? Do you think that that's the only piece they need? Do you think that the Bears are a quarterback away? That's the only piece they need that not vaults them to 9-7, doesn't vault them to 10-6, vaults them to a contender. Because right now, this season, you've got to be through multiple rounds of the playoffs for this to be a success. For this to be okay, yeah. Bring back Ryan Pace, bring back Matt Nagy, because we seen you in the first round twice, and you got your butts kicked both times.
O-line and QB is my whole thing, and I think if we had a better O-line, we would have a little more success. I think the O-line definitely needs to come first, but I understand the situation we're in, and where they're pressed so hard to find a quarterback, and that's just within the organization, and then the outside pressure that they're going to get a quarterback. So because I know that that's what's happening, and we all see that that's what's playing out, if we're going to go for a quarterback, I want to go for a quarterback that gives me a leg up, but still allows me to build my O-line, to make some other moves without necessarily having to do anything else. And my man Thomas in the chat, look like you got some good value adds, man. Break down what you think. You said you played. I want to hear what you got going on. But that Santa, what's good, my boy? He said they need O-line and Jesus. Okay.
Santa's so lit in the chat. P1 in the chat was good.
Yo, I love it. I love it.
The P1's in the chat.
I love it. I love it, man. But that's what I think. I would have loved to see the O-line fixed first if we didn't make any moves.
Yeah.
But because we can't stop this train. The train is already moving.
Yeah.
So I would rather us sit there and say, all right, we get this QB. What other moves can we make? Can I keep Robinson? I think he's a necessity.
There's so many questions. You know what I'm saying? There's so many questions with this one trade. Is A-Rob coming back for Carson Wentz? Possibly. He could have arguably the best quarterback he's ever had throwing to him in his career. But again, can you protect Carson so he can be that guy? And Carson, look, don't sleep on Carson. Carson is by no means Nick Foles. I don't want. If Carson came here, he would definitely be better than Nick Foles. But the problem is decision making.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make those decisions with an O-line that has been in flux. Now you get James Daniels back. Essentially, you would hope you'd have Cody Whitehair at center healthy for the entire season. But these are all offensive linemen. We saw them get hurt last year. Offensive linemen, usually when they get hurt, don't come back and don't get hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
They're just too big.
Yeah.
They're too big. Think about what we saw from Kyle Long. You know what I'm saying? That shoulder was never right again. Why? Because he's constantly, you could surgically put that thing back together, but he's constantly using that same shoulder.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that now. We've seen these guys get hurt. We've seen these guys go through flux at that offensive line position. Do you have something in Hambright? Do you have? But these are guys who all were punched in and pushed in at a moment's notice. And can they come back the same? You get James Daniels back. I believe James Daniels is a 10-year vet in the league. If he can stay healthy.
Hey, I gotta give hey, listen, I'm only saying your last name because I don't know exactly what you want me to call your first name, Inside or whatever. But that man is right on that one.
Which one?
Thomas, we cannot protect him. The coach is too dumb to recognize there's no time to throw. How many times have I said that when Nick Foles came out with that quote the second game he started? There's no time to execute the plays.
And so does that change? Does that change if Carson Wentz comes here?
In CeeLo. All right, my fault. My guy, I got you. Yeah, he right about that though.
And I agree with him. Does that change?
Right about that though. That's I think everybody the one thing I love about our community here is while we all sit here and we have some differences and stuff like that, we really have we're really on the same line of thought. We know what needs to win. We know Nagy is a problem. We know Pace is a problem, right? We do understand that there are problems, but we do understand that Matt Nagy done made some horrible mistakes and has not really developed this team to the point where, I feel confident that he can manage a better QB or period. I just think that honestly, what's the other position where you can sit there and be a whole lot of rah-rah? What's that?
The other position where you can sit there and be a whole lot of rah-rah?
I think he's a great cheerleader.
Oh,
I think Nagy is a great cheerleader. I really do.
Oh, wow.
If you listen to him talk, I would honestly be amped to run through a wall for a good 10 minutes hearing him talk and do his whole little pep talk. But I would love to hear him call a whole game. I just want to hear him mic'd up for a whole game. I haven't dug into it. I just want to hear it.
Yeah.
I just want to hear it. Because outside of that, I'm lost as to why he's there.
Absolutely.
I'm really lost.
And I don't think this is the thing. I don't think this is a move that, like I said, gets you through 2 rounds of the playoffs. I don't think
I disagree with that.
I just, are you going to be able to protect him?
I disagree. I think he gets us there.
He might get us to the playoffs. Mitch got us to the playoffs.
There's a difference between Mitch getting us to the playoffs and we barely making it into definitively saying, yeah, we're going to the playoffs. I think Carson is.
So you think Carson gets us to
the playoffs because he has more weapons than he had in Philly?
You think Carson gets us to 10-6?
I think Carson gets us to 10-6.
Okay. Does Carson get us through Tampa Bay?
KC didn't get through Tampa Bay.
In the Super Bowl, though.
They lost in the regular season, too.
That's true, but the Bears beat them. Hey, so what does that mean, Bears fans? We better than the Super Bowl.
We beat them, but guess what Tom Brady did as soon as we did? He laid into that team so heavy, the whole organization looked kind of different. They walked to the tune of Tom Brady.
Hey, you got to keep Nick Foles on the team just for the games versus Tom Brady. That's the only games I need him on the team for. But
listen.
But does he get you past the Packers? Does he get you past? I mean, name some of those top teams in the NFC. Does he get you?
He keeps us in the game with the Packers.
But keeping you in the game ain't good enough to save these mugs' job.
What I mean by that is I'm not so much concerned about whether or not my QB is going to collapse going against Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I just don't think I don't get that fear. I'm not saying that he will beat Aaron Rodgers, stuff like that, because it's much more than that. Like, let's be real. Tom Brady didn't beat Pat Mahomes. That defense beat Pat Mahomes.
Tom Brady did a good job of helping, though.
I mean, listen, he put the points on the board. I'm not gonna lie about it, right?
He did a good job of helping.
He made his plays that he should have made, right? But let's be real, that defense did that. So because football is one of those things where there's so many other pieces that come into play, when you sit there, if we sit there and say, hey, at the QB position, does he help me get to the playoffs? Yes, I think Carson Wentz gets us to the playoffs. Carson Wentz gives us 10-6. Absolutely. All things being said, right? What other pieces do we have to make sure that we can contend with that? Because at the end of the day, Carson Wentz doesn't play defense. So if we say we got to get past the Packers, all right, who are we lining up when Aaron Rodgers takes the ball, and who are we doing? That's what I'm saying, right? Because of stuff like that, let's put it in full context. It's not just our QB. Does he help us get points on the board? Carson Wentz does that. But, like you said, if we could get 3 TDs, right? 3 TDs, we should be in a fighting position. Does Carson Wentz give me 3 TDs?
But we saw him with a subpar line, and he doesn't. So your belief is if he's doing that, 10-6 is that's a different team. That's a different.
Wasn't our line this year better than Philly's though?
And well, yeah, but not by much though. But it's also based on how we played. Let's be honest. When Mitch came back in and we got a little more stable in those weeks when Foles was in there, I think we had 6 different offensive line changes, which is a killer at the offensive line. In those weeks when Mitch was in there, I believe there was only one because Cody Whitehair came back. So stability at the offensive line position makes a difference as well. And listen, maybe the Bears line will be more like what we saw in the second half of the season. We didn't call their name as much, and we got
Jay Crit, we got jobs. Hey, baby, we entrepreneurs.
Hey, baby, we're trying to make it happen. But yeah,
I'm on break right now.
You know what I'm saying? But no, to me, we're trying to make this the job, Jay Crit. We're trying to make this the job.
And that's a fact.
To me. Say you get Wentz in here. Say Wentz is better, but you have to fix that offensive line a little bit more to help him there. Are you giving up pieces, draft capital, whatever it may be, that you needed to fix that? Like that's what it comes back down to. We can't be too desperate to where we destroy our team. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to go into next season with Nick Foles as the quarterback, and I mean that's just going to be a failure. That's just going to be a failure. But
that's the crazy thing, though. No matter who we got at the quarterback position,
it comes down to
make any other moves, it's gonna be a failure. Everybody that's sitting there coming up with this whole, who's gonna block for him, stuff like that. We got Deshaun Watson. Who gonna block for that man? I saw him run for his life an entire season. Who gonna block for Buddy?
But he looked really good while running for his life.
Listen, he gets style points all day long. But until he gets an O-line, he can't do what he normally does.
He can't. You also have to throw the caveat in there. He lost all his receivers, literally everybody.
He did.
But
that's anybody. So I mean, listen. You all keep saying, "Hey, let's go after this person." I think he'd be better. Okay, listen. I'll give you this. Let's go after Dak. Let's see if we're gonna match that money the Cowboys gonna give him after breaking his ankle so horribly.
Yeah.
We ain't matching that money. You stupid. We ain't matching that. They are literally trying to offer him the same contract they were going to offer him before he turned it down, trying to get that money coming off an injury. You don't even know what he looked like.
How old is Dak? What is he? 20, 25 for Dak? 26 for Dak?
I mean, he's young enough to
throw he's still very young, but it's
I don't watch a whole lot of Dak Prescott because the Cowboys are like the America's team for some odd reason still. And guess what?
Dog.
A lot of them yards came in garbage time. I ain't trying to hear nothing about that. Yeah. I saw my man get blown out first 2 quarters, and then all of a sudden, second half, it's like, oh, now he wants to throw dimes. Come on, bro. Don't hit. Listen, if you're gonna talk football, watch the games.
Yeah.
Actually watch the games of the players that we're talking about. Because the only player that I actually saw on that list that's probably still available, maybe, who actually puts up a fighting chance and his team keeps failing him, is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan statistically is a stud. Matt Ryan statistically put up dimes, and at the point, he actually keeps them in the game much longer. It ain't just garbage time throws, and he's been 4,000 plus every year.
Facts.
4,000 plus every year. Y'all crazy. You got to be crazy if you don't say watch the games. No one has ever said Matt Ryan is a bum. Matt Ryan can't help you win games. His defense don't help him win games.
Yeah. Facts.
That man that could put 28 points on the board, and all of a sudden, he can't. They struggle to score. I give you that, but he already put up 28. You got to get a stop. He doesn't play both sides of the ball,
and that's what it comes down to.
Stop it.
And that's what it comes down to. You have to be able to still build your team. You have to be able to still build your team, because if you can't build your team, if you can't keep your team built on both sides of the ball. Now, granted, I would rather, I'm going to be real with you, where I'm at right now, I would rather see it a little more built on the offensive side than the defensive. Like if you told me next season the Bears had a top 10 offense with Carson Wentz, but you had to give up a piece that brought your defense down to 15th in the league,
I'll take it.
I'm so okay with that.
I'm
so okay with that. Like, but it's what Chicago's built on, right? With a defense that got us 1 ring. Tom Brady has 6 more rings than we have in the last 20 years, y'all.
Oh, Josh, you can keep Jimmy G all day. Hey, listen, the coolest thing about Jimmy G is his comb over or whatever he does with his hair.
What I'm saying?
He looks like just pretty like a Marvel character, like something like that. He's a smooth dude. You know what? He's gonna retire and become like a Calvin Klein model or something like that, because that's how cool he look. Yeah. But no, he fragile in that pocket too. But it's crazy. I would say this. We talked a lot on that. What other moves you think we can make? What other players? I mean, obviously, this is the biggest thing. It's where all the trade fuss is about. But what else do you see that the Bears should do or can do?
I think if you're not going to make this move, which I personally, if it's going to cost you a first, I don't make the move. The Philly should not be dictating terms. If it's going to cost you a first, I don't make the move. Philly, why you getting rid of your franchise quarterback that you paid a ton of money to? You know what I'm saying? In that situation, build. You're going to have a tough season. The problem is we're not going to see that because this is a job on the line season. We're going to see somebody make a desperate move. We're going to see Ryan Pace make a desperate move, which is where we're at right now.
Yeah. Hey, what you think about? I see a lot of Carr talk in the chat, and I don't want to keep ignoring it because I know we haven't really touched on it. What you feel about Derek Carr, who is another person who got a lot of flack, but he was actually pretty good. This was just a situation too. Derek Carr is actually pretty good.
This is the thing I'll say about Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a guy who we've seen him with the weapons, we've seen him without the weapons, and we haven't really seen him be dominant on either side. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Derek Carr with a great running back, with a great running game. We've seen Derek Carr with elite wide receivers. We've seen Derek Carr with an elite defense when Mac was over there. And at no point were any of us like, yeah, he's got it. Like Derek Carr to me, Derek Carr is it's a good comp. I almost want to say Eli, but Eli got 2 Super Bowl rings, so I can't disrespect Eli like that. But he's one of those guys who has never been the top option on his team, or not that. He's never been a top quarterback in this league. He's never been a dominant quarterback in this league, but he's a guy that you absolutely have to worry about. And so it comes down to me again, same as Carson Wentz. What are you giving up for?
That's interesting. All right, let's play this game real quick. All right, I'm gonna just read off some stats. Listen, I'm not an expert on Derek Carr, so forgive me. Right, I've just started to look into him.
You're looking at the numbers.
I'm looking at the numbers, and I just started to look at him the last couple of days just because I saw the name come up a couple of times. So y'all work with me in the chat. Fill in the gaps for me. I'm not going to act like I'm some expert. I'm not going to Nick Wright you. That's what I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk outside of my neck. That's all I'm saying. But Derek Carr's 29. He has 3 Pro Bowl selections. And on average, he has never thrown for less than 3,200 yards.
True.
Even his rookie season. He's never thrown more INTs than TDs. And he has 1 season with 32 TDs and 13 INTs, which is actually pretty good.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not out on Carr. Oh, that's a good one. Carr is Dante Culpepper. Baki hit me with the dagger.
I did think Carr was a lot older because of how much we talked about it.
Hey, listen, that's how I felt about Steven Adams, dog.
He's been in the league forever, right?
27 for Steven Adams. If I'm gonna be real with you, if I'm looking at
his completion ratio percentage is high.
If I'm looking at Derek Carr, this is the thing with Carr. Carr is a guy who there will be games where you win because of him, and there will be games where he won't be the reason you lose. But
I'll take that.
There's never a consistency with it. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Derek Carr over the last 6 years had a higher, either on par or a higher completion ratio than Tom Brady.
That's not that surprising. Brady for a lot of those years was throwing to me and you. That's not that surprising. And then Belichick was big on look. Everybody in the chat still on Steven Adams is 27.
Steven Adams is 27, dog.
I'm not out on Derek Carr if that's a move. I don't even think the Raiders are trying to get rid of him, really, which says a lot, which tells you a lot about the difference between Carr and Wentz. But I'm not out on Derek Carr, but I think if you're at that point, you're in a win now mode. Do you have the pieces to win now? That's what it comes down to. If you've got Derek Carr and you feel that the Bears team is currently constructed with the defense they have, with the offensive line they have, because you're going to give up draft capital for it, absolutely.
Hey, Derek Carr statistically is better than Carson Wentz.
Oh, that's not surprising.
Statistically speaking.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's better, though. Personally.
And I take that back. We fumbled something, dog.
What's up?
He did not throw for 50 TDs.
No. I think we said that in a previous live, and we kind of corrected ourselves on that as well. Okay,
I wanted to be sure. I was like, he definitely did.
What was it? It was like 40 and something. What was it? What was
I
his
guess if we include playoff, I guess if we include because he didn't play.
No, his most touchdowns in the season. What was it? Because there was one
33.
33. But I think he got hurt in like week 10. So maybe he was on pace.
Oh, because he's projected to have that.
Yeah, season. Maybe he was on pace for 50. I think that's where that number popped up in my head. I don't know why we put it out there, but hey, we're learning. We're getting it together, y'all. 168 in the chat. Shout out to y'all for rocking.
168. Damien, I don't know what your last comment was, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
But to me,
post it again for me. We'll get to it.
kind of just to close things out. To me, when you're looking at this team, no matter what the name, Derek Carr, Carson Wentz, and I'll ask y'all in the chat, are we that piece away? Because you're giving up. You got to think, quarterback, it's Ryan Pace. He's desperate. It's Ryan Pace. He's probably given up this 20th pick in the draft. That's probably what he started the bidding at. They probably came in and they were like, hey, we'll take a second. Would you want the first? Like that's probably how the bidding started. You know what I'm saying? And so the question to me
is, the hate that you have for my man is crazy.
Listen, because the Bears, nobody was bidding for what was that giraffe neck bastard that was on this team? The quarterback. Help me in the chat, y'all. Giraffe neck, long dude, quarterback before Mitch was here. Mike Glennon. Chat, you was a little late. Y'all got to be quicker. But nobody was bidding for Mike Glennon, and they made this man the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. It was just like nobody wanted this dude. How did y'all really do this? Like, how is this even possible? And so I know how he goes about doing his business. I've seen that in the past. I've seen him do that with multiple free agents. And so to me, is this team that quarterback away from winning multiple playoff games? And I don't think they are. And I don't think that by trading for these guys, the pieces that you would have to give up is going to allow you to fix that.
You know what? Hey, how much time you got?
How
much time you giving the fans?
I mean, listen, I'm here. I'm off today. I gotta at some point say bye to my wife before she leave for work. But other than that, I'm here.
Hey, if y'all rocking with us, we're gonna keep it going until we just like talk about nothing. Because I feel like honestly, this is our first time doing this in this setting, and I'm actually liking the response that we get. I'm rocking with it. You rocking with it?
I'm rocking.
All right, let's rock then. So listen, if y'all just let us know when we going too far with it, because I actually want to talk about some of these other things.
Go ahead.
Just see what we can build out with it. Because I'm seeing some stuff like ever since that Stafford and Golf trade happened, there's some people going out there. They're trying to bet the farm. They're trying to get Russell Wilson, stuff like that. Yeah. Some more QBs in the last 2 days have actually hit the market with some nice interest. What is the deal with Sam Darnold?
Absolutely not.
I'm not. God dang.
I'm gonna be real with you. In the 5 quarterbacks, the video I did, by the way, check out our other content on the channel as well. We got a ton of Chicago sports content. In the video I did where I was talking about 5 quarterbacks that the Bears could acquire or should look to acquire, I was really, really trying to make an argument for Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't come up with a good one. Like, if you look at his numbers, dog, like, I get it's the Jets. I get it's Adam Gase. I get all the caveats that you want to add on to that. He was just bad. He was just really bad. Like, I can't come up with an argument for him. I can come up with an argument for think about this. I could come up with an argument for Jimmy G. And I really don't want Jimmy G to be here. I'm glad they're keeping him over there.
What about Mariota? I keep mispronouncing this man's name. You know what I'm talking about.
Mariota. Here's the thing, and I love this comment here by Torian. Torian, I believe that's the name. Torian Whitfield. We don't fix QBs. You're bringing in projects, and I understand that's why they're being traded. But what about this coaching staff leads you to believe that the Chicago Bears are going to fix what's happening with the quarterbacks you're bringing in? Because that's why Derek Carr is the only name that you gave that isn't a project, and not you per se, but just that's on the market.
Yeah.
That's not a project. Like, Derek Carr is a completed. You know what you're going to get from Derek Carr. Some games he's going to be in it. Some games he might fumble into the end zone. Some like you know what you're getting though. Like, he's going to be an above average quarterback. That's not elite. That's not terrible. Other than that, everybody else is a question.
Oh, you know my name. The name of mine came into the chat. You know I'm big on him.
Who?
Fitzy. Fitzmagic.
You know what's crazy? I don't want him. But
I don't know why I like him, but I like him.
Because of the swag.
I really like Ryan.
Because of the swag that he come with.
Say what?
Because of the swag that he come with.
Dog, I promise you.
That man too cool.
It's just too cool, dog. I like him. Him and Kirk Cousins for some odd reason.
Yeah.
I just love like their whole dynamic. Like I just do. I just thought they was real cool people. So, but as a player on the team, he's like he'll have good 4 or 5 games where he's just like elite, and then he'll have 4 or 5 games where he's like, yeah. Did we really do that? We really did that, right? And I think he's gonna be done because he definitely looks like Conor McGregor. That's another reason why I like Conor McGregor. I love Conor's swag. Hey, listen, Conor's story, I promise you, was like the best story, one of the best stories in sports, man. My man was like on welfare like 6 years ago. Anyway, that's legit. He was on welfare like 6-7 years ago. Now he's like 100 M's up. That you can't tell me that's a better story in such a short time. 100 M's in sports. Come on now. Like I mean.
Bet on
his sport, you know. With that being said, it's just so many other QBs have hit the market, and it's like overall, why are we having these discussions? Because we need a QB. Are we one QB away? It's part of the problem.
It's part of the problem, but I don't know if that's the first piece.
Yo, I feel like I keep skipping Damien's comment. He done said it several times. I keep missing it. What the heck is he talking about?
Why get a quarterback? Damien, chill, dog. You spent all this time to talk about Tyler Bray?
Damien, I'm about 2 seconds off blocking you, dog. And you I'm 2 seconds off making that 10. And I am about to I'll log off my live right now. Bring up that name one more time. Dog, really?
He spent all that time complaining about it just to bring up a question about Tyler Bray. Get out of here, dog. But to me, I don't think we're there. You seem to believe that the quarterback gets you there.
Hey.
Everybody in the chat just dead, bro.
Hey, what Mikey said about the Bears and Fitzmagic, we'd be the only team not to get the Fitzmagic.
Hey, facts.
I'm done. That's a fact.
Oh, wow. Fitzmagic look at us and be like, nah, you know what? That's okay.
Man, bring back Mitch and all that. Hey, listen. Here's the one thing I think is going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mitch is going to leave the Bears and be a good quarterback.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Keep
them laughing emojis going in the chat, y'all.
Hear me out.
Keep them laughing emojis going in the chat.
When I said good, I mean just not as bad as he's been here, right? Yeah. But he has the potential to have a Ryan Tannehill like uptick. I really do believe it.
No, see, that's good. That's good. That's great. Like Ryan Tannehill had Pat Mahomes numbers at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like that's great.
It just won't be with Chicago. I think it's done here. I think that is where he's going to be good somewhere else. But yeah, no.
Jay Chris said we got to hit you with the around the horn treatment. Jay Chris said turn Pimp Mike off for 2 minutes.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of people that agree with me because guess what? The only thing that was wrong here was the simple fact that we wanted to sit there and do what was it? What's your favorite play by Matt Nagy?
My favorite play?
Yeah, what's the favorite play? That boneheaded play that he had?
Oh, the end around?
There you go.
That ain't my favorite play.
He want to do a bunch of those.
Running it to Tyler not Tyler Bray. Not now you got me talking about Tyler Bray, Damien. Running it to I can't even think of my man's name. Who's our tight end? Jimmy Graham. Running the end around to Jimmy Graham.
The jet sweep. The jet sweep. The jet sweep. Hey, listen, I would say this though too. I still can't understand why we didn't play Cole Kmet as much as we did, as much as we should have. I mean, get it.
Second half of the season, Cole Kmet came on. Could have been something he was doing in practice. I don't know. Listen, these are the things. We're asking these questions, and we're still talking about trading Carson Wentz for the coaching staff to come in and fix it. Like that's the problem with where we're at. We're asking these questions right now. We're talking about, should we do this? Should we make this move? Bring in Carson Wentz, bring in Derek Carr. But then we're asking, is Matt Nagy going to fix it with Bill Lazor? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see it.
That's the one thing. You know
And
what
I
we
was a
talk
Nagy
about
supporter.
moves? That's the move we should have made.
What?
A coach.
Listen, we should have got rid of everybody. I'm sorry. You clean
coach.
house. You clean house.
A coach.
You clean house. Clean house with everybody. That's what it comes down to. But because you're here, because behind closed doors, there's probably an ultimatum given that you guys have this year, and if you're successful, maybe next year to win. Now you're sitting here making desperation moves.
All I know is there's a dude who didn't even get a call for head coach, and he definitely was just in the Super Bowl.
Man, what the world is up with that, dog?
He didn't even get a call.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You can't tell me Eric Bieniemy is not going to be a better head coach than Matt Nagy.
Well, I don't know. We thought Matt Nagy was going to be the best candidate that year too, and he's not.
Let me ask you this:
Anyone coach
Super Bowls has Nagy been to?
You said what?
How many Super Bowls has he been to?
One.
Nagy's been in one,
right? Wasn't he? No, they lost in the round before. He was there with Alex Smith. He was there.
How many has Bieniemy been to?
One. No, two.
Two?
Yeah. Right? He was there last year, right?
I think so.
Bieniemy was there last year.
Oh, yeah, he was there.
So, I mean, listen.
He didn't even get a call.
I don't disagree with you.
We didn't give a call.
Listen, if there's ever been a what are y'all doing in the league? Like I try not to make. I try not to make.
That's absolutely not true. Bieniemy wants a head coaching position, and he's not going to be a head coaching position at KC.
He absolutely wants a head coaching position.
He would absolutely take a head coaching position with the Chicago Bears if he got the call.
Yeah, he absolutely. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
If no one else gave him a call,
that's one of those situations where I want to be a head coach, but I don't want to fail.
I think I would take championship experience, someone who can relate to 80% of the team just culturally. I think I would take that type of input and bring it here. I think I would.
Oh, I'm absolutely on board with it.
People forget like that it's I hate to make it a race thing, and I don't want to make it a race thing. I'm not big on that. I'm not that type of person. Right?
And that's it. I can debate you all day on the Bears are racist. I'm
not that guy.
Not you. I'm just saying for everybody that says that, I can debate that all day because it's too many pieces that are leaders of the Bears and that have statues and are icons and that are black. That are black. I can debate that all day. But what we saw this year with how Bieniemy doesn't get a call. Like, it's not like, listen, we are in a pandemic. He didn't have to fly nowhere. He could have logged in on Zoom. He didn't get a call. That's a tough one to debate, dog. That's tough to make a case on. You're not looking at a guy in that situation because of you feel he's inferior in some way. And I don't know how.
I don't think
they had one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah. I honestly don't think like I said, I don't play the race card. I don't play the race card. You in person and doing business situations, you know how I rock with it. Like, no, I'm gonna come in and I'm better. I'm going to get the opportunity because I'm just good at what I do. Right? Yeah. That's just what it is. I don't really do that. That's one of the things where it's like, was our commitment to Nagy. Did I say it right? I said Maggie or Nagy?
Same thing. Don't.
Okay, all right. Did we overcommit to him that we didn't even go look for a coach?
Right.
Because to me, it was always a coaching problem. I thought Nick Foles was a better QB than Trubisky, right? I thought that when things were running well, we low key like said the same thing. Yo, we can tell that Nagy's not calling the plays.
Yeah.
We can sit there. We knew when things were going well, it was because Nagy excluded himself or delegated something, right? And so for me, it was like, hey, being in a managerial position, if my imprint on the game is causing my team to lose, I'm the problem. And for the whole season, that's all we said. We literally said, besides the QB, Matt Nagy's the problem, and there's no other position in the world except for president, I guess, where you could sit there and have such a horrible impact on your team, being the person in charge of that, and not get fired. And so for me, I can go Ryan Pace, true, but the person who has to deal with the day-to-day, game by game, that person has to be replaced to then now for us to develop a winning culture, because we don't have a winning culture based off of what Nagy has put out there.
Oh, that's not what Ted Phillips believes.
I get that. I totally get that, right? And on the same note, I really wouldn't want to come play for a person who would throw his QB under the bus the way he did.
Hey, listen, Matt, it's weird to me because you look at what Matt did, and you look at, like,
that's the one thing I have a problem with the whole Carson Wentz situation. If things go good, I know Matt Nagy is going to sit there and say the right things. But if things are going bad and it's clear that he's a problem, is he going to throw his QB under the bus again? I can't say that, because even as somebody, you know, I manage a group of people. If I throw somebody under the bus because the team is underperforming, it looks bad on me.
Yeah, facts.
And that's the weird thing.
When Rex Ryan is the one that's telling you, hey, you got to take a bullet for your quarterback in these situations. It's like, is this Rex Ryan telling you that, dog? We got Rex Ryan. It's just hilarious, dog. It's just hilarious where we are as a team. It's hilarious where we are as a team, where we've been, where we're going. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in no man's land. Mm-hmm. You're probably not going to find somebody in the draft at 20. Your best option at quarterback is a guy who literally sucked last season. He was, let's be real. If you look at the numbers, he was worse than Mitch.
Yep.
He was a worse quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky. And we're talking about giving up a first-round pick for him, which now is in a bidding war that seems like is just the Bears by themselves, if the Colts have indeed dropped out. I don't know if that was confirmed or denied yet, but it seemed like Frank Wright, from what I was reading, doesn't seem to believe that he's the quarterback of the future for them.
I like what Jay Chris said. You got to hold players accountable. Why don't we blame the QB when they don't play well? We do.
We do.
I do.
Who ain't came here and said Mitch looked terrible?
I absolutely do. The one thing I will say is, again, just being – I know it's different.
Yeah.
But when you're managing a team and you're trying to get a particular result, you have to evaluate what you're doing to put them in a position to win. Answer me this. Do we really feel like at every opportunity that Nagy put our QBs in a position to win? Even if you really say, well, the players got to play, his QB, the QB he wanted, the QB he made a move for, that they signed, said it himself. I don't have time to execute this play. When your team is telling you, hey, this isn't working in so many ways, why am I not looking at that person? Let's not get overly emotional about it. He didn't put our team in a position to win consistently. And not consistently enough to keep his head coaching position.
And so I asked you, is Carson Wentz the move with Matt Nagy as the head coach?
I think I think a new QB is necessary because we're not in a position to grab anyone else. From the names that we're actually involved with, Carson Wentz is one of the better names, right? Unless we want to sit there. I mean, honestly, Jameis Winston was one of my picks because I felt like we could get him cheap, and the Saints are already in talks to commit to him long term, right? So Sean Payton sees something that none of us saw, right? Because he got to work behind Breeze for a year. So go figure with that. It's hard for anyone to sit there and tell me that Sean Payton don't know what he's doing, because they about to throw a bag at him, right? Is he the overall? What's the name? Probably not, but he's better than what we have, considering that we've thrown him under the bus.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you one bit on that. He can be better. He can be better. He can put you in a position to where you're better. But is it going to? You know what I'm saying? Is Matt Nagy as the guy going to be that guy that puts you in that position? Is Matt Nagy as the guy going to be that guy that puts Carson Wentz or Derek Carr or Jameis Winston or whatever the name may be in that position? Do you have the pieces in place? And so to me, it's really about if you feel you're one piece away. You kind of said that you said that if they do get Carson Wentz as a 10-6 team. My counter to that would be, how does Matt Nagy coach Carson Wentz differently than he coaches Mitch? Now, granted, Wentz plays more of the quarterback style that Nagy is looking for. Wentz will stand in the pocket. He's got a little more pocket presence, but Wentz still struggled with decision-making. Wentz still struggled with finding the guy who was open. Wentz struggled when his offensive line didn't protect them, which most quarterbacks would. But does that change by bringing him in here and giving up pieces that could be the piece that you put in place to protect the guys you already have? Now, I'm not saying keep those guys by any means. I think Foles with a better line plays better, but I don't think that next year you're going to have those pieces ready to go. I don't think at 20 you're finding your fix for your offensive line. Essentially you need new offensive tackles.
Yep.
That's really what you're looking for, new offensive tackles, and you need 2 of them. And so the question becomes, if you make that move, will you have the capital to go fix that? Now, if you are allowing Philly to dictate that, which I believe the Bears are, absolutely not. But if you're not allowing Philly to dictate that, then yeah, go make the move. Because right now, Philly has no leverage in this situation to me, except the fact that they know that Ryan Pace is desperate. Yeah. But they have no leverage. I'm giving you a 3rd and Foles. And if you want Leno, take Leno. But other than that, blow it out your keister.
And we spent a whole lot of time on that one. Yo, what you I know you want to wrap up real soon. What you feel about the Super Bowl? What that show you?
Oh man, the Super Bowl showed me that.
Why you think about that? Everybody in the chat, what y'all think about the Super Bowl?
What did y'all think about the bowl before we get out of here, man? For sure. The Super Bowl showed me that Tom Brady's really good. That when you protect him, he's really good. And if you can't get pressure on him, I don't care how old he is, he's still going to be really good.
Yeah.
It also showed me on the other side how important an offensive line is. Here's a stat for you. You're a stat guy. Here's a stat for you. So we watched Pat Mahomes yesterday running for his life. Pretty much just running for his life. You know what I'm saying?
What about to say.
No, do you?
Yep.
Did you see it?
Yep.
How many yards did Pat Mahomes run for yesterday? Before you answer, let the chat answer. How many yards did Pat Mahomes run for yesterday?
Before a pass.
Before a pass. Before he was sacked. Before he was able to get a pass off. How many yards do y'all think it? Bro, I saw this number.
I was like, yo.
I'm thinking like 100, 105. Hey, look, the chat saying this too.
497.
Bro, Dominique in the live, what's good, my boy? Good to see you, man. Bro, my mind was blown, dog. 497 yards, dog.
That's crazy.
There's only and here's tells you how important that is. There was only one game more. There was only one game with less. That's number one now. There's only one game with less, and it's the game they lost to the Raiders, where he was also running for his life. It's 5 yards less. Bro, that's mind-blowing. That shows you how important offensive and defensive lines are in this NFL. Like, absolutely. You can have the quarterback of your future. You can have we got Pat Mahomes is trash already. Okay, all right, y'all. I got to chill. Y'all got to chill. But what did you see yesterday that you liked, man? What did you see?
This was more about the pressure a good defense has. And also the experience, the type of experience that Tom brings to a team. You know, I looked at all the stuff that he said, you know, people was crying after they won their last game to get to the bowl. He said, what are you crying for? Right? That type of mentality, people who keep you in check, people who keep you keep your emotions in check so that you go out and perform and not, be a victim of the moment. Right? Like that to me was glaring. Right? And if nothing else, Tom Brady, well until he's 45, nearly 50, if he's still playing this game, because it looks like he's trying to go for it. He looks like he's still going to be around for a while, right? That's what he said. He said he wants to be. He's going to try to go for it. As long as he can sit there and bring that type of mentality to a team, and they can protect him, he's going to be picking apart defenses.
Yeah,
he's just going to be picking apart. You can't really beat that, right? So what I saw, and what everyone wanted, they wanted to be this changing of the guard. For me, it just showed that you can't really beat experience. Hey. And I was just waiting for the memes of Bill Belichick hitting punch in the air, because who did Brady link up with for a couple TDs? Gronk. Bro. Found my man a couple times, dimed, like easy money. But it also showed you the importance of catering to it. They changed that whole system for Tom. Now, mind you, it's Tom Brady. It's the GOAT, right? You change your system. You bring out the Brinks truck to get him his weapons. But guess what happens when you do it? You get to the Super Bowl.
I think the funniest thing to me was that Bruce Arians was like, you got to know how to win, and you got to find somebody that knows how to win, and we went and found somebody that knows how to win. And it's just like, bro, like, by no means, don't think that this Super Bowl was won based on the fact that it was a great system. Don't think the Super Bowl was won on the fact that it was a great the defense definitely mattered.
The defense definitely won.
Let me not say that, because what they did to Pat Mahomes was disrespectful. 497 is wild. But at the end of the day, this Super Bowl is won because Tom Brady was the quarterback of this team, and they built their system around what Tom Brady was comfortable with.
Period.
End of story. This man has his 7th Super Bowl ring because they built their team around what Tom Brady was comfortable with. That's mind-blowing. That is mind-blowing.
But I know we wrap it up real quick. Spitfire, who's your GOAT of GOATs?
GOAT of GOATs? Wayne Gretzky.
Not just one person. Just
what you mean?
The GOATs of GOAT. Like, I said it wrong, but like, realistically for me, right?
Oh, top five greatest players in any sport?
It's only 4 for me. It's Tom, Mike, Tiger, and Wayne Gretzky. Oh, and Serena.
Yeah, you got a lot there for me, because I mean,
it's different sports.
I would pick one for each sport. Somebody said Cristiano Felicio in the chat. Y'all wildin'.
We go soccer. You might want to change that name a little bit. You might be right.
You know what I'm saying? Ronaldo. No,
that dude's getting money over there.
Man, bro, forget that tax that they got on him is ridiculous, bro. He signed like a $500 million contract, but he got to pay 50% tax on it. I was like,
about?
Ronaldo.
What's the other soccer player that got paid $163 this year?
I don't know. I don't know enough about football.
I forgot. Oh man,
I don't know enough about football.
Oh my god, is it? Oh, how did I forget his name? Oh my god, my family gonna kill me. Oh, it don't matter. Anyway,
it doesn't. But Javen Terry with a nice one. He said MJ, Brady, Ali, and Tiger. That's a good one.
Messi, there you go.
That's a good one. I would probably go MJ basketball. I would probably go Brady football. Absolutely. Brady football. I would go Tiger for golf. But see, I think the thing is too, is it team sport? Is it so? Because Tiger doing it by himself, which to me is crazy impressive. You know what I'm saying? So you got to throw Tiger in there and Gretzky. Like, Gretzky is, bro, y'all got to understand how good that man is. I'm going to be real with you. I wasn't on this until like maybe a week ago, until somebody hit me with his stats that if you take away all his goals, he's still the all-time leading scorer in hockey by like 100 points. Like, that's disrespectful, bro. Like, that's legitimately a record that oh, by the way, he's got 890 goals. That's a record that nobody's going to break.
It's one of those things now where
I'm confident in putting money on something for the next 100 years that nobody will break this and it will pay me out $1 million, but I got to put $1 million on it, which is a whole.
Hey, you know what? The only thing I would say is, I know we just wrapping it up. I'm hoping that the Bears make a move regardless to get us to a situation where we can talk about winning football. We have good football being played in the city.
Yeah, man.
We may not have a GOAT come through the city anytime soon, but I tell you what, you have to start appreciating good play. And despite the hate you might have for Tom Brady, you say he cheated, do all this stuff like that. You can't say he don't play good football, because that man plays phenomenal football.
That man is a dog.
He's a dog.
Let that man.
I leave it at that. Just respect to the man for doing something. Doing something no one's ever done in football. On top of that, I think he has 5 MVPs too, right? So 7
MVPs,
7 rings, 5 championships. You know what I'm saying? Doing something no one's ever done, getting there as many times as he has. I mean, we really just have to appreciate that, because it's going to be a very long time before we see something like that happen again in the way that it's happened. I've been talking about Tom Brady since I was like 11.
A shorty, dog. We grown. That's the wild part.
We grown. I got a kid who's talking about Tom Brady.
Tom Brady,
who in a few years will be the same age I was when I first talked about Tom Brady. He's been dominating
even
that long.
As we get out of here, even how they opened it, dog. Tom Brady was winning his first championship when Pat Mahomes was 6.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, man. But we are going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with us today, man. This was kind of an impromptu, but your boy had nothing to do. Kid had a little time to spare, so we had to get in here and talk with y'all. We appreciate y'all for joining the live. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the page as well, because we got a ton more content coming your way. I got some Bulls content coming too. Lowry out for 2 to 4 weeks. Ugh. So we'll have some Bulls content coming your way as
should we do more of these?
Yeah, y'all let us know. I'm gonna put a poll up too if we should do more of these as well. Because there's some
general sports a little bit more too.
Let's be honest. There's some Bulls games that just we don't need to go live for those. No, I love going live for it. We won't be live tonight as well, to let everybody know. We won't be live tonight because unfortunately the 9 to 5 is calling and your boy got class for that. So I won't be live tonight. But we will be live for Wednesday's game versus. We got Washington tonight. Who is that? Who was Wednesday's game? We were really prepared for this, weren't we?
Oh, yeah, really good prepared for that question.
Killing the game, buddy. The Pelicans. Oh, that should be a good game, actually.
Yeah, I want to call that one because I think we might be getting that trade about them boys.
Oh God, P. Will versus Zion. Oh no.
Oh, Zion's about to eat us alive. I don't care about that.
No. Oh no.
Zion's making grown men cry. Like, I'm sorry. No, Zion is gonna eat it. I mean, Zion's gonna eat us alive. But I definitely want to see what Lonzo Ball looks like, or if they even play him. Because you know he on the block.
Yeah.
I want Lonzo Ball. But hey, my man, let's get up out of here. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all rocking with us.
Y'all stay safe out there, man. It's your boy Pat the Designer, joined by the Brody Bro P.Kidd.